Inner Power Entrepreneurs. Dr. Amanda here. It's time for another episode. Today we're talking about how to get off the hamster wheel, let go, and enjoy life again. And business building, of course, all the things. This is a very different episode than usual because it comes from my Inner Power Entrepreneur group coaching program. So I meet with really incredible, it's been women entrepreneurs up until now. And they come on and every Monday we get together and we talk about mindset, manifestation, fears, doubts, blocks. We do journaling and we have conversations like you're going to hear on today's episode. And on Wednesdays we do business coaching. So people come on and ask business questions and we scale businesses from getting group coaching and learning from each other. So this episode release actually comes from a session that we had a couple of weeks ago where we were talking about how we get stuck in our mind with ideas about what we should be doing in our businesses and how this is what causes suffering, frustration, resistance. And you've heard me teach before that resistance is the number one reason that you don't manifest or achieve your goals instantaneously. And so being on the hamster wheel is obviously going to cause resistance, and you're spending a lot of time doing busy work, getting nowhere. And so we had a really powerful conversation that I just thought this must go on the podcast. So I anonymized everybody in the group. You'll hear a couple people laughing and you'll also hear a question being asked, but you won't hear any names just because that group is anonymous. This isn't something I typically do, releasing episodes from the group coaching program, but it was so powerful and so good and so inspired that I just decided it was something that needed to be put out there. You will notice the sound quality is a little bit different than usual because I wasn't using my microphone during our group coaching session. So, be patient with me and know that it's not typical, that the sound quality isn't great for the podcast, but this episode, you just need to hear what I'm saying. So stick through until the end. We're going to talk about why we get so stuck. I bring up Michael Singer, who wrote The Untethered Soul. If you haven't read any of his work, he is a master at helping you get present. He teaches a lot of the stuff that I teach. He's one of my mentors. He's definitely somebody that I have learned a lot from. Amazing books in the world. So check him out. This talk was a lot inspired by me diving deep into some of his work over the weekend before I had this episode. So dig in, be present, listen, and really digest what's being said here. And then, of course, if you want to hang out on the group, go to workwithdramanda.com, workwithdramanda.com. You'll see the options. I have a lot of really cool ways that you can work with me and master yourself, cultivate inner power so you can get to a place of enjoying your life, enjoying your business, feeling aligned, getting unstuck, knowing who you are, knowing what you want, and knowing how to get there. That's what I'm all about. And so if this episode inspires you, we're supposed to work together somehow. So just go to workwithdramanda.com, and doctor is DR, so workwithdramanda.com. Check out ways you can work with me. I hope to see you there. Enjoy this episode. There are a million ways to do entrepreneurship. There are a million ways to do life, right? And like entrepreneurship is one, a combination is one, side hustles are one, full-time entrepreneurship, being a stay-at-home mom, being a stay-at-home partner, like intimate partner, being the breadwinner. Like I look at all these things and I'm like, why do we get so stuck thinking it has to be the way we've planned in our minds? We get really freaking attached to our idea of how it should be that we can't see opportunities that are right in front of us. My mom told the coolest story yesterday, and I was like, that is such a good example. I got to use this on a podcast. So we had a surprise. My parents' 50th wedding anniversary was last weekend, and my dad did a surprise party for her with all the family, and she had no idea. And so there were 10 of us sitting at a table in this restaurant where they showed up. And the hostess had brought them over, and my mom looked and she saw that the table was full. And so she didn't even notice it was us because she was looking for an empty table, right? In her brain, she's looking for an empty table. So she looked back and we're all watching this and I'm like, oh my God, that's awesome. She looked back, she's like, there's no table for us. And then she looked back again and she's like, and the woman's like, no, it's right there. And she looked back
Still, she's like, there's no table for us. She looked back, then she's like, and then it registered like, oh, my daughter's right there. And so she looked back, and we all, like, we're like, surprise. But it was so fascinating. It was like, that is how your brain works. You get what you're looking for, right? You see what you expect to see. And so what she expected to see was an empty table, and you don't see what's there that you're not expecting to see, right? So it's like she's looking for an empty table, and she did not even see 10 people in her family because she just was like only tracking for the empty table. I'm like, oh my God, that is so how our mind works. This is why it's so important to do mindset work and expand your thinking and look for different types of opportunities. Be open. Even just using the phrase to yourself, I am open to new opportunities in ways that I don't know exist. I'm open to new opportunities coming to me in ways that I can't create myself or wouldn't know how to create myself. I'm open to letting the universe bring me the way, show me the path. I don't need to know all the answers. Open, you could even say, open my eyes to the opportunities, because we get blinded by what we expect to see. It was a really cool, I was like, wow, that is so, it's your RAS, right? Your reticular activating system tracking for it. It's funny that I haven't talked about Mickey Senior that much here, like a little bit, but like I listen to his stuff a lot on repeat because he is to me one of the most powerful spiritual masters on the planet. And I listened like as I was running this weekend, and Abe and Owen were gone. And so I had a lot of time, like when I was doing stuff where no one was around. And when that's the case for me, I'm always listening to podcasts and books and stuff like that. And so I was like listening, and I just, oh man, he blows me away. One of the things he said that was so powerful, I was thinking a lot about our community as always. And I was just thinking like, God, we create our own suffering through, he says, the number one reason we create suffering is through preference. And I'm like, that's an interesting thing to consider. It's us preferring that things are the way that they're not, instead of sitting in what is. And it's like, if you really just sit in what is at every moment instead of resisting it, it gets so much fucking easier. Like, right? Like, instead of being like, I wish it wasn't this way and I want it this way and what if, and we're almost always thinking like, well, I'm not happy now, so I'm not going to be happy in the future, and I better fix it now so I can be happy in the future, or I'm beating myself up for the things I did wrong in the past. Like, it just makes us crazy instead of just sitting with what is and not resisting it. Like, sit with what is and just sit with it, and then sit with it the next moment, and then sit with it the next moment, and then sit with it the next moment. And then you notice, like, okay. He used an example I loved. He said, in the simplest way, it's like us being hamsters on the wheel and not being smart enough to jump off the wheel. And I was like, God, that's so true. Like, we think, I'm going to get somewhere by being on the wheel. Like, just going. Really jump off the wheel and just decide to stop and stop resisting and stop trying to get somewhere. And you just get off, and then you're like, that's consciousness. That's spiritual evolution. That's, it's wild because my whole new thing on Inner Power Daily and the podcast is know who you are, know what you want, know how to get there. And he talks a lot about want as the version of suffering because you have a preference. And I'm like, in my mind, to know what you want is spiritual enlightenment. Like, what are you actually seeking? What is everybody here seeking? What is the number one thing that you are seeking to feel? What is it? Like, if you had to put one word on what you're seeking to feel in this life, what is it? I heard peace. Someone say peace. Yeah, peace, purpose, love. And I would say, what will purpose make you feel? What will being settled make you feel? Because relief's a feeling. Fulfillment, it could be a feeling. Peace is a feeling, right? Love, what does purpose give you? You said at ease. Yeah. Right? At ease. Like, that is literally what we all want to feel. Peace, love, joy, ease. Fulfillment. Like, that is fulfillment. And yet, every day, our striving to have that is what makes us miserable. It's like a cosmic fucking joke. It cracks me up. I'm just like, wow, we are trying so hard to be happy when all we need to do is just stop resisting being happy in the moment. That's it. It's like that simple. It's really wild how simple it actually is and
Mm.
how hard we make it. You know, like it was blowing my mind this weekend.
Mm.
So yeah, like, are you in the struggle or are you in the flow? If you're in the struggle, you're on the wheel. If you're in the flow, you're off the wheel, letting the universe bring you what it does through your energetic alignment of deciding that you can be at peace right now. You can be at ease right now. In this moment, is anybody uncomfortable sitting in their chair? Right? So, like, just carry that through your day. Like, that's the solution. And it's that. It's like, it's letting go, letting go, letting go, letting go, letting go. Like, even letting go of your preference. Right now, letting go of your preference of thinking that if you get something outside of yourself, you'll be happier. Because you won't. You'll be the same. Because as a manifestation coach, you know, we're taught to expect that which you want. Like the law of expectation. When you expect it, you get it, right? The interesting thing is that what you are unconsciously expecting when you are in a constant state of struggle is you're expecting struggle. That's why that's so powerful. So if you expect in the moment, I expect in the moment to feel at peace. Then you will feel at peace in the future. You'll feel at peace right now. Can't change the past. You might let go of that shit. Like, you cannot change the past. Like, it's impossible. So why stop trying? Like, stop fighting against it. Just go like, hey, what's happened's happened. I don't need to worry about that anymore. It's done. Right. And and the only way that you can control or shape your future is by being awesome now, by being at peace now, by being aligned now. That's the only control you have over the future. So you can create your future from your now. That's how it gets created. So expect in the now. It's not like a dreamy future based. Like, to me, expectation is so fascinating. It's like what you expect to happen will not happen the way that you expected. And really what gets created is how you feel now. So it's always our job at every moment to just come back to the now. How do I feel now? How do I feel now? What am I doing now? What am I thinking now? And just sit with that. Because and then really if you contemplate this week, where does all your suffering come from? I think it's fear, future expectation of awful results, or beating ourselves up for the past, or it's even, and realistically, even when we're being vision based and we're thinking like, oh, but I'm envisioning an awesome future, still there's that lack underneath where you're expecting to fail because you haven't done, you don't think you can do it because you haven't been successful in the past. Unconsciously, right? So you're just going like, I want this future thing, but underlying is all this like, oh, I don't know how to get there. I'm not sure what steps to take. I don't know if it's going to work out. What if I all the what ifs, right? So it's like playing with this concept of just being present in the now, and then what ifing. I still have this book in mind. Sure, I'll write it at some point. What ifing what's possible. So instead of what ifing what's negative, which is what we usually do, what if this happens bad, wrong, everything goes horribly? What ifing what's possible? Is just as possible for you to create an awesome future where you feel at peace, love, joy, purpose filled, fulfilled every single day of your life. That is just as possible as what ifing all the shit that you think could go wrong. It's just that you are not aligned with creating it because you're coming from a place of deficit and expectation of potentially bad things to happen because you don't think you're enough. That's like, to me, that's the core of it all. It's like, oh, let's play with us being enough. Let's play with right now being enough. Is right now peaceful? Can I be at peace right now? Can I be in a state of joy right now? How can I be in a state of joy right now? And if you can tap into that, even just for a few minutes, you start to raise your vibrational frequency, which matches that and attracts that outcome to you. It's amazing. So just every time you notice yourself, and this is really where the inner power formula comes in. Recognize, reframe, repeat to reprogram. Right? You got to recognize, am I at peace right now? Reframe if you're not, and then repeat to reprogram. Recognize, am I aligned in the moment? Am I future thinking or am I past thinking? And then reframe it in the moment and just go, hey, I'm at peace right now, even if it's for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds. That's it. Okay, bring it now. Take 3 deep breaths. Get in alignment with your soul and with yourself, and then just keep going. And then do it again and do it again and do it again. And that's really it. I mean, and at first it takes a lot because we are habitual beings who really hyper obsess about what we don't have that we think will make us happy. And it doesn't, because it's not the answer. The outside of you is never the answer. It can never be, because wherever you go, there you are. So you'll get the thing and then you'll just create a bigger thing to want. Nothing outside of you is a solution. That blows my mind when you really think about it. It's like, sure, go on the trip. It doesn't mean you stop wanting things. It just means it's not the solution to your happiness. Play with it. Be creators. That's what I think is so beautiful about creative forces, is that it is when you have desires, it's a creative manifestation force. So you desire something, that's what sets it into motion to being created. Enjoy that process. That's why you're here, right? You get to create whatever you choose. The thing is, if you really just tapped into like, yay, I get to do that and it can be fun, it would be so much easier. And instead we resist what we think we want and what we think will be happy. And then we get there and it doesn't fulfill you generally, usually, or it does. Maybe you're like, I want to go on a trip and I can't wait for it. You get there, it's awesome. The only people who experience that are the people who are feeling that way all the time. If a person thinks that the once a year vacation is going to make them happy, then they get there. Oh my God, you've put such high expectations on that trip that now if one thing goes wrong, you're like, crap, this didn't fulfill it. And now I got to go back to my hell life of every day that doesn't feel good. Like, that's not a way to live, and that's what we do. So it's like, instead, just make every day playful, make every day peaceful, make every moment peaceful. And then you get to attract it to you. And then when you create from that place, that's the vibrational frequency that you attract your way. And then you're a magnetic powerhouse force that is unstoppable. You literally could not stop the universe from bringing it to you because you're matched with the frequency. So you couldn't stop it. It will come automatically. Any thoughts or feelings coming up from that?
Well, how do you do that though? I mean, how do you?
I love that question. That's how you do it. Breathe. See what I just did? Breathe right now. Everyone take a deep breath. Just breathe. Let's take 3. Another one. Breathe in. And when you're breathing in like all the goodness. Just see all the goodness coming in your body. All the goodness in the world. All the peace. All the love. All the joy. All the fulfillment. And then on the out, just say the words to yourself. Let go, let go, let go, let go. You're letting go of all the bullshit, all the past, all the fears, anything negative inside of you. And then do it again. On the in, breathe in light, love, contentment, joy, your innocent, childlike wonder, happiness, connect with your soul, your inner child awesomeness and the universal consciousness. And it goes into every cell of your being. And then on the out, just let go of all the bullshit, all the stuff you don't need to carry anymore, all the things you don't have control of. Let go of any expectations, let go of self-doubt, just let it all go. And then just see how you feel after 3 breaths. How does everyone feel after 3 breaths of doing that? Plug in how you feel right now after doing that. Just type one word, how you feel. Ooh, I like that. Here, calm, here, at peace, relaxed, right? Calm, okay? Grounded. Boom. That's how you do it. You do that as many times a day as you need to get back to that place. And you stop letting this think that there's a solution of doing something that's going to fix the problems. It's you being energetically aligned with peace, calm, joy. And it's just a retraining of your energetic system to attract different things to you. And without even the expectation of attracting the things to you. You just go hey, I can be at peace right now. And then the universe will tell me what to do next. The coolest thing about manifestation, and lately I really think I've gotten it, like I've taught it and I know it intellectually, and lately I'm like, I get it now. Like in my being, something has changed where it's like, oh, you really, really, really do not need to know the way. It will come to you in a step-by-step form when you let yourself be present and open, because you're calm and at peace and you're not trying to fill your plate with all the to-dos. So you're literally you're getting to that place of calm, and then you're like just sitting quietly for 2 minutes, and then the universe will be like, go on a walk, do that. Or it'll be like, oh, type in the copy on your landing page, do that. It'll be like, oh, call the next client that is a potential that you remember came into your mind in this meditation, a person you haven't thought of in years, but you're like, oh, they might be interested. And you call them and they're like, I was just thinking of you. Like, I'm telling you, that's how it works. Like, you don't need to plan every single step of the way. In fact, letting go of the plans is helpful. I know goal setting and all these things, business projections, I think it screws most people up because you're just freaking yourself out on the hamster wheel. So it's just like that. That is the ultimate question. How do you do that? Get present. Do what it takes to get present. It could be dancing. It could be singing. It could be breathing. It could be journaling. It could be listening to a podcast. It could just be like literally sitting and just letting go for 1 minute. And you do that once an hour even, and it will change your life. It's incredible, actually. It's incredible how simple it is, and yet how some people will never get there their entire lifetime. Because it's a lot easier habitually to stay on the hamster wheel.
All right, that's a wrap on today's episode. Thank you so much for being here. I hope that you learned some great tips on how to get off the hamster wheel, let go, and enjoy life again. And I hope you enjoyed the birds in the background. One of our Inner Power group coaching members has birds, and so we always get to hear her birds in the background. So much fun. Remember that I am all about giving you tools, strategies, daily actionable growth tips to help you get what you want in your life and business. And this month, actually on July 1st, will be our first book club that's starting in our group. So this is called the Inner Power Daily Membership. This is a really great way for you to get aligned every single morning with a powerful morning routine. So it starts with a couple minutes of teaching, and then we do journaling prompt and affirm mantra. This is all on an app, and it's at your own time in the comfort of your home. On top of it, we have a weekly book club and a monthly live. This is called the Inner Power Daily Membership. So if you go to innerpowerdaily.com, you'll see a link to work with me, and you'll see the Inner Power Daily Membership information. This is by far the coolest thing I've ever created because it's a way for you to grow daily, hang out with me some, and it's low cost. So, I'm so excited. This month we're reading Gay Hendricks' book. When I say this month, I mean July. It starts on July 1st. So Gay Hendricks' book, it's called The Big Leap, and he is the person who coined the term zone of genius. If you haven't read this book yet, it is an absolute must read. It's one that I always recommend to people I work with. We read it together. This will give you huge breakthroughs. And if you want to join us for the book club, just get in there by July 1st. 7-day free trial in this membership. So check it out for free. So just go to innerpowerdaily.com. You'll see the membership either on that page or click on work with me and you'll get the information there. I would love to see you in that group. I am so psyched to get to podcast for you and with you every single week. I hope that you have a thriving, kick-ass week. And until I see you again next week, I'm sending you big hugs and inner power high fives.